He's a magistrate judge, he's a father, he's an attorney, and a community leader. In this edition of Quintin's Close-Ups, I speak exclusively with Judge Ittriss Jenkins, one-on-one. And be sure to download the free Quintin's Close-Ups app in your Apple or Google Play stores. And listen to this interview later on iHeartRadio. Judge Ittriss Jenkins, it is so good to see you.
Man, thank you for having me.
Wait, time. You and I see each other a lot, especially on Broad Street.
Yeah, for years. Yeah.
And here we are.
Yeah.
And I understand that obviously you're the owner and managing attorney at the law office of Ittriss Jenkins, LLC.
Yes.
As managing editor, attorney, Ittriss has been providing legal services to the Charleston community for over 9 years.
It's 11 now, believe it or not. Yeah, it's been a while. Yes.
11 years to now, what is the biggest difference about legal services in Charleston in your mind?
I think it's changed the dynamics as far as with the Charleston School of Law. There's so many more lawyers now, and there's so many people specializing in things that I never thought would be specialties. Like I know people doing easement law. So there's so many things with the vast growth of Charleston. There's so many people wanting so many different things. Like right now, because I'm a magistrate's judge, most of my practice revolves around estate planning and probate. And when I first started, because I started on my own, I kind of did whatever people needed and tried to do it. So now I'm kind of really focused, and there are a lot of people now with specialties in Charleston.
You talk about the estate planning and obviously business planning and elder law. How's that need like right now in your mind?
It really is. Heirs property is one of the biggest concerns that we're having, especially as African Americans. And what people don't realize is a simple estate plan can help your generations have a smooth transition when you're talking about the transfer of wealth. We have a lot more today. I know a lot of people want you to think that they don't. So a lot of people say, hey, I need a will. You don't really need a will all the time. A lot of times you need a full blown out estate plan, which may entitle a trust, which may entitle sometimes gifting, which may entitle thinking about what happens when mom starts getting older. Because a will only takes place when you die. They're not thinking about what happens when mom starts getting older and no longer can take care of herself. Who's going to be her guardian? Who's going to be a conservative? Is there a power of attorney in place? Those are the things that incorporate a real good estate plan. And believe it or not, the last numbers I was looking at says only 15% of the population has an estate plan.
Wow. And obviously you talked earlier about being a magistrate judge.
Yes.
What is the biggest difference between you being a magistrate judge and an attorney?
The biggest thing is when you're a magistrate judge, you really are listening. When you're an attorney, your mind's moving 100 miles per hour as to what am I going to say next? What's he going to say next? When am I going to do the objections? When you're an attorney, you're basically sucking it all in. And then you have to start dissecting it and making a sound decision. And it was amazing because when you first do it, I was still an attorney while I was first sat on the bench. You wanted to get in there and say the arguments, but you really had to sit back and say, no, that's not my role. My role is, be an objective person who's going to look at all the information fairly. And really, most people want their day in court, and they want to be respected. And as a judge, those are the key things you have to do. If you don't have the temperament for people, if you don't have the drive or love. I personally read Micah 6:8 every time I go on the bench. You know what I'm saying? Because you have to make sure that you walk humbly with God while you're there. And remember, this is a responsibility that serves the people. It's not about me when I'm sitting up there. It's about the court, and it's about the people that you serve.
And you talk about serving. Let's talk about the North area where you serve.
Yeah.
What is that like in your mind?
It's an interesting dynamics. Right now, as you know, throughout most Charleston, there's a gentrification that's going on. So one of the things that it really makes me think when you see this many people who are being removed from their homes. And the gentrification is making rents go up where people can't afford it. But as a judge, I have to follow. We have a landlord-tenant statute, right? And I have to follow the statute. This isn't the time for me to grimace because this is a situation that is really becoming a tragedy. But as a judge, I feel like my core responsibility is to follow the laws that the legislators set.
Right.
And, as I said, to have a temperament and have an understanding. Because everybody who's evicted from their house is not a bad person. They may have fallen on hard times, which we all have at some time. And it's almost that, by the grace of God, there go I. You know, you look and you say, listen, I'm so sorry. I understand there's a plight and a trouble, but this is the way the law reads this affect your case. Another thing is it's a tremendous responsibility that I don't take lightly. And I'm glad that I have a staff and I work with Judge Richard Brown, and we all have a people first mentality. Okay. And it's been a blessing. She's been an absolute blessing to share a bench with. And the staff is just fantastic. Everyone from the constable to the clerks are just wonderful.
You talk about people, and you talk about emotions and hard times. What is that one person in their particular case that still plays in your mind today?
As far as on the bench?
Yes, sir.
There was a lady who came down here because she was coming from one of the rural areas, and in her mind, Charleston was the big city, And to hear her situation was heart troubling because I could see it. I could absolutely see how she got in the situation. She came down because she heard there were better schools in that area. And she decided that she would make a go at it. There's a person who I would say someone took advantage of her by letting her stay into a place that really shouldn't have had a tenant. So that's why she was paying a nominal rent, because the place really wasn't habitable. So what happened, someone else took over and started fixing it up. But of course, with fixing it up comes a higher rent. And now she's in an opportunity where she's saying she loves the way the place is. She was working 2 jobs. She had 2 kids. And it's just heart-wrenching. It's troublesome, because the last thing I know we want as a society is to have kids who are homeless. But as I tell all the people, this guy's running a business. It's a business at the end of the day. And the landlord-tenant statute did not give her any remedies that would allow her to stay in that house. So by the grace, I saw her recently, and she's found another place. She's doing well. And how good God is she now lives in a better school district, which is really what she came down for. It really does. But that's just something that I just say, because I didn't grow up rich. So we all know at certain times in our lives, we all were on the verge of being this person. And I think the empathy and sympathy that I felt for her still always, plays in my mind today.
And I know that you obviously have the understanding of the importance of education. You received your Juris Doctorate from Texas Southern University,
yes, sir. A
Master of Arts in Political Science from Clark Atlanta University, and a Bachelor of Arts in Political Science for North Carolina A&T State University in 1996.
Yes, sir.
Who was Ittriss Jenkins as a student?
It's amazing. If you caught me in high school, I know there's probably nobody would say this guy would go that far, But I'll tell you, this is one of my gifts. One of my gifts is hard work.
Yeah.
My father worked 14, 15 hours a day as a cab driver. My grandfather worked every place in Charleston. If you walked with him, he'd say, I remember when I used to work at this factory. So work ethic, I'm just blue collar. I know one thing that standardized tests don't say, they don't say how long you'll stay in the library until you get it. And me as a student, even today, I'm the first in, I'm the last to leave. I work until I can't take it anymore. And I've seen you. So, we identify with that. I've seen you at work too. Right. So, yeah, there's no, and I tell even my mentees and the people who I speak to, there's nothing that can replace work ethic. Right. And I've been blessed that God allowed me to have a work ethic. And, that's gotten Ittriss further than any knowledge Ittriss could obtain, or anything. And of course, I'm like King Solomon in the Bible, who asked for wisdom and understanding in every situation, and it hadn't let me down yet.
And obviously, as we talk about education, you yourself as an adjunct professor at Trident Technical College.
Yes.
How did that happen? How did you and Trident Tech meet?
I'm an educator at heart. I love it. And the thing about it is, because I have such a passion, you can tell my 2 degrees in political science and government, I just feel like I have a different approach. I love to teach about government, because I don't like when people think government is some sidebar, esoteric entity that, overlooks us and oversees. We, the people, is how it starts. We are the government. So we need to understand that we need to participate. And what I do is I teach my class in a very practical sense, to let them know. Like I even have questions like, if you need a stop sign on your street, tell me the process of how you would try to get that done. Because believe it or not, a lot of people would say they call their Senator Tim Scott, And so I really try to make it as practical as possible to let people know that you are not hopeless. It's not you against the government. It's you are the government. You elect your leaders. And if your leaders don't do what you're supposed to do, then you get another leader. And if you want to participate, this is the way you do it. And believe it or not, I usually get a lot of rave reviews. Now, I haven't taught since I became judge because my scheduling just hadn't. But I really miss it. I really miss being in the classroom, seeing eyes light up, seeing people understand, like, what is an electoral college? How does that affect you? What is an at-large election? How all these things work in your everyday life? And because Stride Tech was a lot of older kids, professional people, sure. It really was people who came with a lot of ideas and understanding that may have came from not so good sources. And it was good that they got a chance to truly peel back and look into these things and understand how they work.
And you talk about elections and obviously the government. I know that your wife, Ms. Laquita Bryan Jenkins, is a part of the Charleston County Constituency School Board for District 20.
Yeah.
When you look at her as an elected official and a community leader, where does your mind go to?
I'm so proud of my wife. My wife followed me here, because I met her when I was in Houston. And then she came and fell in love in Charleston. And I sold it to her, because I'm a Charlestonian in my heart. And when I met her, I said, listen, I'm going to live in Charleston. We're going well, but if you think you can do the Charleston thing, I don't think we're going to work. And she came in here and embraced the community. She's been active on all different levels as far as the PTAs, to the constituent school board, to the SIC, the student improvement councils. She's taken it more. And our kids don't go to Burke.
Okay.
All the work she does at Burke is for the kids of Burke. Because she believes, like I believe, the whole community, these are all our children. We've gotten away from it taking a village to raise a child. And we believe that we need to get back to understanding that, just like the boy said, I don't have all those degrees just so I can serve myself. She has multiple degrees also.
Right.
And, she's not doing it just to serve herself. She's using her talents and skills to help the community get better and help the kids get a better education. She's the president of our neighborhood association, so she, is always active and elderly and making phone calls to help people out. So I can't be more proud of her. She's embracing. Most of the time, I'm just trying to keep up.
And you talk about the community. This is a vibrant community at work that we're actually sitting in right now. When you look at the vision of this future, this particular community in this future, where does your mind go to?
I see a lot of progress. I see a lot of new people who are coming in and really embracing our community. What I would like to see is we maintain the diversity. This is one of the most diverse parts of the city. We have people who do lacrosse. We have people who play basketball. This is when I walk around this neighborhood, my neighbors are all different races, all different genders. They all, you have some people from the north, some people who are Charlestonians like me and have no intent on ever leaving the city. Wow. And it's just amazing that we all come together and it works. If we have disagreements, like we have a disagreement with your neighbors, I can tell you all of my neighbors. I can tell you what they like, don't like. We talk, especially on the street behind. I live right a block.
Yeah.
And we're a really close street, and it's just it's a different group of people. And I would like to see that maintained. I would like to see that there's always a space, a room, a voice for everybody to be inclusive at the table.
In Charleston, where's the city heading in your mind?
It's heading progress for some, but then it's heading in a different direction for others. When we say that we're growing as a city and the housing market is booming, there's not everybody who can participate in a housing market that excels the way this housing market is excelling. I will give a credit to Councilman Lewis and Councilman Mitchell, because they are working for some affordable housing. Affordable housing, just because a person doesn't make an exorbitant amount to affordable, doesn't mean they're a bad person. Doesn't mean they don't have something to add or going to take ownership over the community. And I believe affordable housing is one of the major issues. I don't know if you saw, but I was on the mayor's task force for short-term rental.
Right.
And that was one of the reasons why I believe that committee is so important, because short-term rental is important. It shall be done. But we have to understand what are going to be the long-term ramifications 20 to 30 years in Charleston when you are allowing someone who used to have a house that they lived in, now they have a business facet to it. So I believe affordable housing is one of the major issues. And as you can tell, the city's growing leaps and bounds. And, like just this weekend, I went to a Y'all Fest, and that was amazing.
Yeah.
To see that many people in that small of an area,
Right.
And there was, all concentration of books, and my kids were in heaven, and it was an amazing event. And I'm like, Charleston just has so much. And then next to it was the farmers market,
Right.
So it was really just a festive weekend right up the street from our house.
Right.
So this city's going to continue to have things to offer that I think more and more people are going to come and want to enjoy. So we're not going to stop the growth.
And I know that people come and stand in front of you almost every day.
Mm-hmm.
When you stand in front of God, what do you hope to tell him about your life?
We all just looking for well done, good and faithful servant one day.
Mm.
I'm just looking for my well done. Do I make mistakes? Woo-hoo. And I'm sure if you talk to my wife about them, she'll probably have them listed and itemized. But at the end of the day, we're all human. There's only one perfect person, and he was on the cross.
Right.
So the rest of us, we're just trying to get by as much as possible. I know, I look up to the hills which cometh my help. So I'm not going to sit here and tell anybody, oh, you're wrong or what you're doing. We're all just trying, and that's all I say. My basic thing that I hope that I'm seeing, like in John 13, I just hope he's seeing I'm loving my neighbor.
Yes.
That's, if I can get that done, that's the commandment that we all need to try to focus on. I think we'll be a lot better off.
Oh, yes. Oh, yeah. Well, Judge Ittriss Jenkins, thank you so much for your time. And I like this, clear quality and everything. Thank you so much for your time. Yeah, thank God. It was a tough one. Thank you for this interview.
Thank you.
I appreciate it.
Thank you for having me. I
Anytime.
appreciate it.
Anytime.
All right.
Yeah.